Testing. 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 All right. Good morning. My name is Gabriel Serra, and today's live stream, I am going to be releasing my attachments to money. If this is something that resonates with you, join me. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to begin with a prayer. Yeah, let's go. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Forgive our debtors as we forgive our debts. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive our trespassors. Forgive our trespassers as we forgive our trespasses. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you, God, for all you do. Thank you, God, for being my friend. Thank you, God, for your unconditional love, support, and kindness. Thank you, God, for all the blessings, miracles, and gifts of this day. Thank you, God, for expanding my vessel so I can hold more of your light. And thank you, God, for assisting and supporting every heart and mind across the universe to expand their vessel and consciousness to hold more of your light. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you. Okay. What do we have here today? Yes. Okay, so it still remains to be very cold here on this mountain because it's January and it's cold. And for today, very specifically, I'm feeling it. That attachment to money. I'm gonna take some deep breaths, get myself centered, and really focus on what I have to do today. Okay, great. So, since I was 12 years old, in that time that I was homeless, I have had this obsession with money. I very much had this obsession with money. And the irony is, I shy away from it. So I want it, but I shy away from it. And I feel like I distract myself. I feel like I'm distracting myself. And I'm going to be tapping on all these things right now so that I can get to the bottom of this. But basically, I feel shame, or I feel some resistance saying this and putting this out there. I do. but I'm going to say it anyway because I'm going to confront it. So I have been having a lot of issues concentrating and focusing. And I've thought to myself, I need to get back to doing my deep work. I was on a roll. I had my systems going. Was it the best? No. But it was going, and I was able to piece together my work. And I was able to ship some of the things that I needed to. I still was having issues, just being honest, I was still having issues getting things done in such a way where I would get some bricks shipped. I would ship some deep work, some MVPs, if that's what you want to call it. But then I found myself like falling off and not being able to hit it. Either which way, the systems were okay. They were doable. And for a first version, hey, not so bad, good enough. And coming back to the deep work, having that time off from that life event where our daughter was taken away, coming back from that life event was very disorienting. And I, as of right now, I do feel lost because this is what I do. This is what I like to do this. I like to do this. And I want to really fall in love with the aspect of working and just working every day and working on something every day. Even if it's just one thing, even if it's just one tiny brick, I want to enjoy that to the fullest because I don't really have much else outside of that. So unless I have a team of people doing things for me, you know. But otherwise, here I am. I'm doing the work myself. And my computer started to slow down a lot because since this event happened, since the situation happened, and I've had this traumatic experience of my daughter getting taken away and her being forced to do medical procedures, I haven't been able to focus. So I thought to myself, okay, let me go and document all this stuff. If my belief is that God doesn't want me to hide anymore, God wants me to be seen, God wants me to be visible. Okay, fine. So I'm going to start documenting this and I'm going to start live streaming all this stuff. And in the process of doing that, the computer that I have, while it's still a good computer, it's not going to do it for the idea that I have, which is to live stream consistently the deep work stuff that I do. So I've already found it psychologically much more engaging when I have my computer screen showing and I know that people can watch at any moment. And my plan, so that she can see at any time, hey, this guy is actually legitimately doing this. Yes, and that's exactly my point. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be showing her my channel and what I'm doing so that she can see, so that she's not guessing, so that she's not assuming. Because I don't want her to assume. I don't want her to ever assume that I'm not doing the work. I am doing the work. It's just how I'm going about doing the work right now is not effective. Not anywhere near as effective as how it was before. But in order to do that, in order to show that work, in order to show my work, how Austin Kleon says, in order to show my work, I'm going to need a better computer. The problem is I don't have cash. I don't have cash myself because why? Because all the cash I had saved is now gone. It's now gone. And Emma put us now $30,000 in debt because she wanted to invest in cryptocurrencies. I laugh because, she could not see the connection here. Maybe the coins do mature. Maybe the tokens and the coins do mature. Sure. But like, if you really think about this, who is buying Bitcoin at $90,000 a coin? Not me. Not me, unfortunately. So then who? Who? Very likely the banks. Very likely the top 1% of the world. And if they're buying the Bitcoin, like a JP Morgan, for example, if a JP Morgan is buying the Bitcoin, who is funding and supporting a Nexo? A very similar company, right? So these loans that these crypto companies are giving out, they're very likely attached to these other companies. But these other companies probably realize, if we have these lending companies, these lending blockchain companies, and we're buying the Bitcoin to raise up the price to create that FOMO, how are we going to get people? So the markets, what I've realized in my 5 years of trading the markets and studying the financial markets is that, hey, the markets can stay irrational longer than you or I can stay in the game financially. I'm going to say that again. The markets can stay irrational, illogical, longer than you and I can stay in the game financially. Yes, there is shit that happens in the financial markets where it's like, mother of fuck. There's how is this happening? Why is this happening? Someone can say, yeah, this is all the fundamentals. Yeah, sure. And someone can just put out a story. You know, we're in that age where someone can put out a story and then it seems true enough and then you buy it, right? Especially with deep fake now. It's very easy to fake a lot of things. Sure. So where's the human authenticity in it? So now we're $30,000 in debt and my daughter's still not here with us. I cry almost every day because I miss her so dearly and I feel overwhelmed. I feel very overwhelmed. And you know why I feel overwhelmed? I feel overwhelmed because I put a lot of my attachment and my self-worth to money. And I can't do that anymore. I want a new computer. And the other day I went to bed, I woke up, and then I heard my inner voice say, ask for help, ask for financial help. So I did. I asked for financial help from a friend who was helping me out through this very difficult time. God bless them. And it's not like I'm like gambling money away or anything like this. I'm not doing that. I'm trying to make sure the bills are paid and everything here. And then Emma's going and she's fucking taking out $30,000 in debt. Like, what in the motherfucker are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing this to us? Why are you doing this to us? And I get it. She wants to help the best as she can, but the way that I think about it is that, look, cryptocurrency is a long-term asset. That's a long game. We're playing the long game with cryptocurrency. We're playing the long game with cryptocurrency. Me may not get anywhere this bull run. It may take the next bull run. And the bull run already happened in 2024. It already happened in 2024. So I don't expect anything necessarily monster to happen right now. And Bitcoin already went and climbed from 15 to 20,000 all the way up to 90 something, 100,000, 111,000 over the last 2-3 years since the last bull run during that bear market. So, you know, I'm not expecting at this time, or maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I really, really do. I really, really do. But I think those days of like wild, you know, trajectory, I don't know. That may not be here. That may not be here this time around. And especially because it's become more mainstream. It's become more obvious. Like, people are going to try to go for it, right? But think about that. Who is buying? In the thing like trading, if someone makes money, it's because someone is losing money. Okay, and there's a difference between, and there's a saying that goes, who's the smart money and who's the dumb money. Retailers are considered the dumb money because a lot of these motherfuckers don't know shit from dick. A lot don't know shit from dick. A lot. And as much as I know, I don't know shit from dick. And especially not every market. I don't know about, how to trade the futures market. I don't know how to fucking trade CFD. Well, I do know how to trade CFDs. I know how to trade bonds, yes. But why does it happen? Like, you have to really become very good at knowing why it happens. And this is my journey. It's my journey. What am I doing? It's my journey back to the markets. This is me documenting my journey back to the financial markets, especially after something as traumatic that happened. And I'm just going to do my best to document this. And having said that, the other day, I wanted a new computer because this thing is slowing down and I need to document my deep work and I need to actually be able to show proof that, hey, like, I'm doing my work. And that's my goal. My goal is to show proof that I am doing my work. And that's my goal. My goal is to show proof I'm doing my work. I'm shipping my bricks. I'm doing what I have to do. And I'm getting it done. And in order for me to do that, I'm going to live stream. At least this is what's in my head. My idea in my head is I'm going to live stream. I'm going to document and show my work so that as I do my work, I am showing what I'm doing. I'm showing that I am getting up. I'm fucking doing this work. I'm holding myself accountable. Other people can see it. And I'm holding myself accountable. Do I expect other people to hold me accountable? Not really. But it just helps psychologically to know, shit, my partner, she could watch me at any moment. So she knows what's on the screen. She knows if I'm fucking doing the work or if I'm fucking shopping or some shit, And everyone is going to know. Everyone is going to know, and it is going to be on there. And it's going to be for the world to see. And there's a part of me that really wants that. There's a part of me that really wants the world to see what I'm doing. That's interesting because my biological mother, she didn't want people to see what she was doing. She always wanted to be hidden and private. And me, I'm just thinking to myself, fuck that. You know what, God? I wanted to be hidden. I wanted to be invisible. I wanted to hide behind the scenes. Okay, fine. You want me to be seen? You cut down the trees. You have all these fucking construction workers here doing all this shit. All these people coming to our house. Okay, fine. Then let's get the cameras going. Let's get the cameras going because I'm going to document now. I'm going to document. And this is what I'm going to do. And this is what's on my mind. This is what's been on my mind. I'm just going to document this whole fucking thing. I'm just going to document everything. And I'm going to make sure that when I document everything, I'm going to make damn sure that I'm seen. I'm seen and I'm heard. That's exactly right. That's exactly what I'm doing. And in the process, in order for me to do that, I needed a new computer. So what happened? I wake up the next day and this idea in my head, okay, borrow cash from this friend. Maybe that's the voice of God. Maybe God already talked to this person and they're going to help me or whatever. But I got this voice in my head, ask this person. And I felt a lot of this shame around it. I felt a lot of this resistance. Well, not shame anymore. I don't feel that shame anymore. I just feel a lot of this resistance. Like, come on, man. Like, how much longer am I going to fucking have to do this for? How much longer am I really going to have to do this for? But then I think about pounding that stone, right? I have to pound the rock. I have to pound this stone. I have to break this motherfucker into pieces. Split it in half. And that's ironic. Because this is split in, this is as two colors as one. Very interesting. So I got to be able to pound this stone. And I just feel this attachment. I feel this like, damn, man, like I'm 37. Come on. Like, how much longer am I going to do this for? Either way now, I asked this person for financial help, and they said yes. And I noticed my feeling around that. I noticed my feeling around, number one, leading up to it, I felt like a little boy, and I felt like, damn, I can't do this. I'm asking for too much. And number two is, when I did ask, and they said, yeah, sure, I felt this relief. And I started to cry, and I was very grateful. And I think that's very problematic because I'm conditioning myself to be conditional with my life about how I feel about myself and whether I do have money or I don't have money. And these are the topics, these are things that I did not grow up hearing about. All I saw growing up from my relatives was that when they asked each other for money, it was like a sin. It was like, wow, what is wrong with you? Why are you asking me? There's a huge scarcity mindset, a very huge scarcity mindset. And I get it. They grew up in that era. They grew up in the pre-internet, pre-Facebook, pre-social media era. I understand that. And I was growing up like just years before, right? Just when the internet was coming out. That was my era. But for them, they were growing up in like from my grandmother, she was growing up in the 1940s or wherever the fuck, whatever that generation was. And then then we had these relatives, the generation before me, they were growing up in the 60s and 70s and shit. Different world, different idea. The idea of success was go to school, get good grades, get a job, blah, blah, blah. And thank God that era is over, because that is the ultimate slave mindset. I think, my opinion, especially in today's era, I really don't think about job. Yes, there's that default when I'm in scarcity mode, but let's be honest here. Let's be really fucking honest here. Who the fuck wants to work a job where you have a certain amount of money? And maybe that's for some people. Maybe that is for some people that prefer that comfort and that certainty. But that's the irony. There is no certainty. You can go at any moment. I understand that. I realize that for myself. And that's not what I want. And that is not what I want for myself. So what do I do here? I gotta change. How do I change? How do I change? I change by getting my shit together. I change by making sure that I have my own cash flow. I make sure that I have multiple sources of income where I'm not necessarily dependent on just one source of income. That for me, stop doing that. That for me is really scary. And that's what I've been feeling, and that's what I've been working through. So today I want to release my attachment to money as much as possible. And that's my goal for today. That's my mission for right now. For this part of my day. And then when I get to the deep work, I will. And I'm just noticing how it made me feel when I didn't have the cash to get a new computer. So now I know that I'm going to have the cash to get a new computer. The energy feels a lot different. I feel a bit more relieved, but it still doesn't make me happy that I feel this attachment to money. So I need to break this. I need to let this go. I know why it exists, and I'm going to keep working through these. These are probably like layers, and I'm just taking off the layers at this stage, and I'm fine with that. So let's begin. All the EFT setup statements, all the EFT tapping points are listed in the description. So if you have your own thing, so if you're unfamiliar, look at the description, scan it, follow along with me. Pretty simple. Even though I have this attachment to money, I choose to let this go from my nervous system now. Even though I feel attached to money, I choose to look at my self-worth right now. Nope, that's not right. Even though I am attached to money, I choose to become sovereign now. Even though I am emotionally attached to money, I choose to regain my sovereignty and independence now. Something like that. Even though I am emotionally attached to money, even though I am emotionally attached to money, I choose to regain my sovereignty and independence now. Even though I am emotionally attached to money, I choose to reclaim my sovereignty and independence now. Even though I was emotionally attached to money, I claim my sovereignty and independence now. Even though I was emotionally attached to money, I choose to regain my sovereignty and independence now. Okay, I hear the inner voice saying, no, you're still attached. So I can't trick my subconscious mind. I just have to change my perception, though. And that's going to take a little bit of time. That's going to take some rounds. Even though I am emotionally attached to money, I choose to regain my sovereignty and independence now. Even though I am emotionally attached to money, I choose to regain my sovereignty and independence now. Even though I am emotionally attached to money, I choose to regain my sovereignty and independence now. Even though I am emotionally attached to money, I choose to regain my sovereignty and independence now. Even though I am emotionally attached to money, I choose to regain my sovereignty and independence now. Even though I am emotionally attached to money, I choose to regain my sovereignty and independence now. Even though I am emotionally attached to money, I choose to regain my sovereignty and independence now. Even though I am emotionally attached to money, I choose to regain my sovereignty and independence now. Even though I am emotionally attached to money, I choose to regain my sovereignty and independence now. Even though I am emotionally attached to money, I choose to regain my sovereignty and independence now. Even though I am emotionally attached to money, I choose to regain my sovereignty and independence now. Even though I'm emotionally attached to money, I choose to regain my sovereignty and independence now. Okay, so now from here, we did that initial round. Let's move on to the freestyle round. And in this freestyle round, we're basically just gonna vent. Just vomit everything out. Let it go. We cannot spend our time dwelling on the negativity. So what I do is I give myself a little bit of time to focus on the problem. And even if that means being negative, okay, fine. But I'm going to spend more time focusing on the solution afterwards. And that's it, right? So I think Tony Robbins says focus 90% of your time on the solution. No, 95% of your time on the solution, 5% on the problem. How I interpret that is, if I'm tapping on the negative stuff, I'm going to focus 5% on the problem, and then the rest of the time I'm going to focus on the solution. And I'm going to get deep within myself. I'm going to allow my subconscious mind to surface whatever it is that needs to get surfaced. And I'm just going to let this go. So we're going to put and visualize a projector right in front of us. So visualize a projector right in front of you. And then imagine a memory. Any memory that comes up to you when you were attached to money. Anything. Release all the attachments to money. Release all that fuckery to money. And I'm doing this because, hey, look, I know that for as long as I have these emotional attachments, I'm never going to be at peace. And I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing peace. I'm not going to be this type of person that is always uneasy about money and worried. And I damn sure I'm not going to be stuck as that little boy who was afraid of being homeless and all that bullshit. So I'm going to make sure that I unfuck myself. I'm going to make damn sure that I unfuck myself. And I get myself back on track and I feel good about myself. And I choose to make my self-worth independent of the money. Because that, I think, is going to lead me down a mess of fuck. And I watched this Gary Vaynerchuk video where he talks about documenting and not creating. And he makes a great point about how people, if as soon as they're thinking, oh, is there money in here? They go to this fucking thing. They know fuck all about it. They know shit from dick. And it reads off as inauthentic and incongruent. And I'm not going to fucking do that. I'm not going to be that fucker. I'm going to say what I know. And hey, look, maybe I don't know much. That's fine. That's fine. I don't know much. That's fine. I accept that. But hey, the shit that I do know, at least I know that. And I can speak on that. At least I can speak on that. And that's what I'm going to do. So here we go. For me, here's what's coming up. It's, I guess the homelessness thing, I can start the homelessness thing. It doesn't really, what I think about is, fuck, I don't have my finances together. Like I've lived my life up to a point where I've lived relatively cheaply. Like if it was just me and there was no partner, there was no daughter, I fucking eat spaghetti noodles. I would eat spaghetti noodles and just be in front of the computer working for like 12, 14 hours a day. That's what I would do. But now that I have a family, now that I have a partner and etc., I have to nurture those relationships, or I choose to nurture those relationships. Either which way, my expenses have gone up, right? Since having a partner and, she doesn't work a job and I don't work a job. I'm building all these things. I'm working on all these things. And that means that I am financially dependent on someone who is helping me through this time. And I'm so grateful. And I wish them even greater success in their business. And I wish them a lot of happiness. And I wish them a lot of love. I really do. And since I'm depending on them, there's that pressure on me. There's like in the back of my head, what if this person says no? What if this person can't help me anymore financially? And I start to panic. Because I haven't figured it out yet. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I haven't gotten that traction. And what I have seen, maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I am so incredibly wrong. But what I have seen from my experiences with entrepreneurship, solopreneurship, whatever the fuck you want to call it, building businesses, trying to take nothing and make it into something, I have seen that The money is usually the very last thing. The money is usually the very last thing. So building a personal brand, you got to have all these other things in place before you can then start asking for the sale. To an extent, you cannot fucking be asking for a sale if you don't have some sort of expertise or knowledge. So you still have to build that expertise or knowledge, even if you're doing a coaching practice, right? You still have to have a certain level of expertise or knowledge to be able to say, hey, let's do the sale here. You've got to build up other skills. If you're doing branding, a personal brand like me, you've got to be able to have at least, the computers and all. So it's an investment. You need the computer, you need the monitor, you need the script, need to know what you have to say or how you're going to say it. That all requires cash. All of it requires cash. So that's where we are. That's where we are. And so for me, I've seen that the last thing is money. You have to get people to watch your channel. So in order for people to watch your channel, you have to have a good title and especially a good thumbnail. And before that, you need to start up a YouTube channel. And before that, you need to know what you want to talk about. So the money usually from me, what I've seen, comes last. And because it comes last, it's like it takes the longest to mature and to manifest. What I have seen. So because I'm depending on this person for cash, because they already figured it out for themselves, for their life, for their business, they already figured it out. Great for them. I've got to figure this out for me. I've got to figure out how to fish effectively. And I've got to be able to fish in such a way that I can feed my family. I can take care of my kids. And I want to teach them how to fish at this stage. In order to do that, it requires time, it requires resources, it requires energy to do that, to make that happen. And yeah, I can start off at the homelessness thing, which I'm going to do. So let's put that projector back up there. My attachment to money. Yes, I remember being 12 years old, homeless, the day we were evicted. I remember the doors getting locked. I remember my cousin picking us up. She had a car at the time. It was a piece of shit car. It had a hole in it on the back seat, like towards the bottom. So when you're driving the car, you could see the fucking ground. I remember that. So she had this really beat up shit car. And she picked us up. She drove us to an uncle's house, paranoid, schizophrenic, living together with his mother. The mother, my grandmother, screams out the window, "You can't come here. He doesn't want you here. David doesn't want you here. Live on the street," or something like this. It felt very insensitive. It felt very insensitive. It felt very cold. It felt very cruel. And this is supposed to be my family. This is supposed to be my family. And it felt very cold. It felt very cruel. And from that age, I would see some of the guys in school dressing nicely and the girls dressing nicely. And around that age, I started to notice the girls, and I started to judge myself and saying, damn, I'm not this guy that looks, I don't have the clothes. I don't have the thing, How that made me feel not good. It made me feel not good. For 5 years, I was homeless. For a couple of those years, I was living on a fucking couch. I was living on a fucking rollaway bed in a living room And I remember especially being that close to my relatives. You see, before we were evicted, my biological mother and I lived in an apartment, and the apartment we lived in was about 1.5 miles away from where her brothers and sisters lived. So her brothers and sisters lived much closer together, within like 2 or 3 blocks from one another. And my biological mother and I live much further away. She has an attachment to her brothers and sisters. I understand that because she grew up with them, and I think for her, that's all she has. And I understand that. I get that. I have compassion and understanding for that. Even though she said so many times how much she hated being around them, she can't live with them, all this stuff, she's now living with her sister. Fine. Be that as it may, though, what I remember was us being evicted, living with this uncle, seeing these relatives and how they interact with one another, and especially around money. These relatives talking about money. They had no clue about money. At least that was my perception. As soon as they got the money, they would spend the money. And they didn't have anything to show for it. They had absolutely nothing to show for it. Zero. They had zero to show for it. Zero. They had zero to show for it. And I remember times where when they did ask each other for money, they made such a massive deal about it. It was horrible. What I learned from that is to never ask for help. Is to never, ever ask them for cash. And so for a large part of my life, I was doing my best to be financially independent. I would not ask for any fucking thing. I would not ask for any fucking thing. Nothing. I did not want shit from any of them because they had that tendency of throwing it throwing it in each other's face. And that's not how I want it to be. That is not how I want it to be. But the attachment, though, and here's the thing, the attachment to the money made me believe that if I have money, number one, I get asked for it. I'm going to get asked for it. Number two is if I ask for money, so if I have the money, I'm going to get asked for it. If I ask for money, it's going to be a problem. And it seems like people were nicer to each other when they wanted something. And that's what I've noticed from them. When they want money, the way they would ask is like little children. And they would put on their more kind face. They would try to be as kind as possible. But then when they weren't getting the money, when they weren't getting, it's not even money. It has no value. Fiat currency has no value. It's not a store of value. It's definitely not. But either which way, when they were asking each other for fiat currency, for cash, what happened? When they got declined, when they got denied, when they heard the no's and they knew that they weren't going to get any cash, then you saw the real face. The mask came off, essentially. And I learned from that experience. I learned from those experiences. Okay, I have to put on my best face. I have to put on a mask. If I need a job, I need to put on a mask. I can't just tell a boss or a manager that I think that what they're doing is stupid and I have a better way. I have to just fucking show up, do the job, and then that's it. And then that's it. And I never wanted that. I never wanted that. And there, I think that's where that saying is very true now at this stage is, look, you can either build your own dreams or you can build someone else's. And I'm sure as fuck not building someone else's dreams, except God's. And even then, sometimes it's really cryptic. This attachment to money, though, this attachment to money makes me feel like if I have money, I'm somebody. If I don't have money, I'm a loser. I'm a failure. And I could even feel that pacifier feeling now, that relief feeling that I know that I'm going to have cash. I'm going to be able to pay the next month's bills. And I've been through that experience before where I'm working these jobs. I'm doing my best to make ends meet. Something happens and then I can't pay the rent. That's a terrible place to be in. That's a terrible place to be in. And it sends a terrible message. I think it sends a terrible message about life. And I don't want that to be the case anymore. I really do not want that to be the case anymore. I want to be free of this. And I want to move forward from this. This financial stress, it's not doing me any good. It's creating a lot of discord. It's making things worse than what it has to be. And I choose otherwise. I choose a different story now. And I don't want to be this person. I do not want to be this person. I choose a new reality now. I choose a new reality now. This attachment to money. This attachment to money. I feel this attachment to money because with money or with cash, it symbolizes that I'm safe. If I have cash, I have a roof over my head. If I have cash, I have clothes on my back. If I have cash, I have food on my stomach. And I think more importantly is if I have cash, then I have love. If I have cash, I am of value. If I have cash, then I can provide. And what I saw growing up is that women, girls in particular, females, the opposite sex in particular, wants someone that is financially stable. Because if someone is financially stable, then what? Then they are protected. Right? Maybe that's what women want to feel. They want to feel protected, and the best way to do it is to do it through cash. And maybe men want to protect. Possible. Very possible. Dab. Very possible. And I believe I did that. I believe that's what I made the meaning of for money, the topic of money, cash, fiat currency, those green pieces of paper, United States dollars. I think I made that my mission. I think I made that my where my self-worth and my value comes in. I think that's what I did. And yeah, I think this is what I did. I made meaning out of this when it should have no meaning, but it has meaning to me. Cash has meaning to me. And what I took it to mean, and what I still take it to mean, is that if I have it, I'm somebody. If I don't have cash, I'm nobody. And that's not going to work moving forward. I'm a father now. And I would not want to teach my kids that if they have cash, they are successful. I think that is not the right message to be sending. Now, of course, let's not kid ourselves here. Let's not lie to ourselves that success is void of money. I think that that's a big part of it, because otherwise people would not do a lot. I'm quite certain people would not do a lot of shit that they are doing. It's got to serve them in some capacity. And for me, this does serve me in some capacity. Maybe I am a narcissist. Maybe I am egocentric. And maybe this is my outlet. This serves a human need for me to be on camera and for people to watch me. Maybe that serves the hidden need. Maybe it serves the hidden need of me being heard. Maybe it also serves the human need of, maybe me getting cash or getting paid to do this in some capacity. I don't fucking know. I do know, actually. No, that's a lie. That's another lie. See, why are you lying? Why are you lying to yourself, Gabriel? Why the fuck are you lying to yourself? Stop lying to yourself. Be honest. Be really honest, man. Be very honest. It's okay. It is okay to be honest. It's okay. It's okay to be honest. This attachment to money. I believe that money, if I have it, cash, if I have it, those little pieces of paper, if I have that, I can buy things. And to some capacity, I believe that money can buy love. Why do I say that? Because I honestly don't know if Hema would be with me if I could not afford for her to travel the world. I don't know. I don't know if she would be with me if I could not provide a roof over her head or to help, pay for things. I'm making sure that everything is paid for and she doesn't have to do anything. I'm making sure of that. Would this person still love me? Or would this person think that I'm useless? I don't know. And I most certainly do not want my children, I most certainly do not want my daughter, especially, to seek someone out because they have cash. Because that could be a fucking disaster. Then you have a fucking woman beater, No. Not doing that. I want my child, I want my kids, I want my family to be interdependent, basically. Interdependence. Because honestly, the truth is, hey, look, I'm in this world, everything relies on cash. I can't just not be without cash and expect to be able to do this and this and this and this. I'm gonna need cash. Otherwise, I'm fucking lying to myself. I'm being absolutely delusional, and maybe I do need now to see a fucking psychologist. Not that they're probably any help anyway. What are they gonna do, fucking hear me talk and then that's it? I could do that here. I could do that on my own. This is my therapy, basically. So I don't necessarily think that I could live a life without cash. So in some capacity, I'm going to be attached to it for as long as I'm here on planet Earth, and as long as humans have this consciousness that, hey, you need to pay for that thing. You need to pay for that thing, right? Maybe it's just a symbol. Maybe it's just a symbol that you need to earn something in this lifetime. That's it. I think the shame for me, like David Guillaume, the Kabbalist and the owner or the co-founder of Mary Ruth's Supplements, said something really interesting, and that was about the bread of shame. So in the Kabbalah teachings, he's mentioned before that the bread of shame happens when you feel like you haven't earned something. Yes, he also talks about certainty beyond logic, but the main thing is the bread of shame. That stuck with me a lot. Certainty beyond logic, bread of shame, those two things really stuck with me. And the bread of shame topic, bread of shame basically means, as how I understand it, is that if you were given something, you're giving something, you receive it. So someone gives, someone receives. If you receive without earning it, you develop this shame that, oh, I haven't earned it. I want to earn this so that I can know what it feels like to have earned it, to have this feeling. Perhaps, very likely, to expand your vessel to hold more of the light of God, more of the light of the Creator. I get that. That makes sense. And that's what I feel. I feel this bread of... That's a hard thing to say because I don't know if it's shameful anymore. I don't know if it's really shameful anymore. Is it really shameful to ask for money to support my family? Like, it would basically be the same thing as me going to a group of people and asking for the sale. I'm still asking for the sale. I'm just giving something in exchange for it. That's it, you know? Versus here, it's just more direct. It's more like, hey, I'm asking for this. Can you please get, and then that's it. There's no other transaction behind that. It's just, here you go. Done. That's pretty simple, right? I think for me, the problem is that I have been stuck on this idea that I need to have a product, I need to have a service, I need to now go to a whole bunch of random people and sell them that thing and exchange my time for money, or sell the people a product in exchange for the cash. And I think that's what's creating, for me, a disconnect. And it's making me believe that if I don't do something like that, then I am useless. I am worthless. I have no value. I have no value. I can continue to look at it like this, or I can look at it as, all right, this is my situation right now. What is the game that I'm playing? I am playing the long game. Because, hey, look, for as long as I still have this person helping me out, I'm gonna get my fucking punk ass, with all the love in my heart for myself, with all the love I have in my heart from my IFS parts, from my ego, I'm gonna get my punk ass up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna make sure that I fucking do this EFT tapping. I'm gonna make sure that I'm on here. I'm gonna make sure that I'm fucking on here. I'm really taking that mindset approach like 50 Cent. Either I'm gonna get rich, or I'm gonna fucking die trying. Either I'm going to get rich, or I'm going to die trying. That's it. That's it for me. And in this world, being rich is strictly financial. There is no other thing. There's no rich in spirit, rich in heart, rich in mind. It's just focused on the financial. And I get it. I get it that this was me. This was who I was. This was my conditioning. And I'm choosing to break that. I don't want to attach my self-worth to money. I don't want to attach this idea that if I don't have cash, my family leaves me or my family doesn't love me. I think that's more hurtful. right? Okay, I feel something here. I feel something like in my eyes and it's coming. It's like a trigger response, okay? Let's pay attention to that and let's go there. Yeah, I don't want to feel like my family doesn't love me if I don't have money. And I kind of observed that with these relatives. Not kind of. Stop lying to yourself. Be direct. I have observed this. Maybe it's my perception. Okay, that's fine. But I have observed that if there's money and these relatives need money, they're going to pretend to be nice to you. They're going to pretend to be nice to one another and they're going to ask for cash. Hey, can I borrow $20? Hey, can I borrow whatever? And at that time, when I remember growing up, was that borrowing $5 was borrowing a lot of money. Borrowing $20 might as well have been borrowing $2,000, borrowing $2,000, like my biological mother did to buy a fucking silly ass computer that she didn't even fucking use, and she made the excuse that it was for me. And how often did she use that computer? It fucking sat there collecting dust. $2,000 at that time might as well have been like $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 today. She did fuck all with that computer. Fuck all. Fuck all. My whole life has been around fucking computers, man. It's been around fucking computers. And I really wish that I went to like a coding fucking school or a coding camp or something like this when I was younger and I figured out how to fucking do this shit. But I didn't have that. So now I'm fucking trying to piece together everything at this age of my life. That's okay. That's okay, because it doesn't matter the age. I'm really trying to believe that it doesn't matter the age. What matters is that I'm doing the work. Every single day, I'm pounding the stone, and I'm okay with that. I can live with that. I can be at peace with that. But what I cannot be at peace with is if I continue to attach my self-worth to money. I'm not okay with that. And I'm scared. I'm gonna now acknowledge this. What if my family leaves me because I don't have cash? What if my kids don't love me because I don't have cash? What if my kids don't love me because I don't have cash? What if my kids end up like me? And I couldn't take care of them. Yeah, there you go. I feel it. I feel it and I release it and I free myself. I'm freeing myself of this. I'm freeing myself of these ideas. I'm freeing myself of these feelings. I'm freeing myself of these trapped emotions. I'm freeing myself. Because I'm not going to be this person that lives like this forever. I'm not. I am not. I'm choosing differently. I'm choosing so differently now. I'm going to free myself. What if my kids don't love me? What if my kids don't love me? What if I'm left alone without love? What if I lose my family because I don't have anything to give them? What if I have no value to provide the world? What if I have nothing to give? What if I suck so bad that I have got nothing to give? What if I suck so bad that I've got nothing to give? And I'm just a waste of fucking air. I'm a waste of space. I'm a waste of food. I'm a waste of clothes. I'm a waste of money. Oh, there we go. Boom. Got it. You got it. All right, so memories coming up. Homeless, 12 years old. I remember my grandmother asking me one day if I can go to the landlord and say something, or to like the office building and ask them for something. And once again, she approached me very nicely. Hey, can you da 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 da? And I said, no, I don't want. Like, I just got out of school. I'm fucking tired. It's been a long day. You've been inside the whole fucking day. You've been inside the whole fucking day. Move your ass, Granny. And what does she say? She gets upset and she gets frustrated. And he says, what good are you? What good are you? And that hurt. That really hurt. So the conditioning was, if I have something of value to give, I'm something. I'm important. If I don't have anything of value to give, I am useless. And I learned this, and I've seen this. If I have nothing of value to give, I'm nobody. I suck. I'm a waste of space. I'm a waste of air. I'm no good. This is what I saw. This is what I saw growing up. And this is what I think I learned from these experiences. If I've got nothing to give, if I've got no value, and I have nothing to give, then I'm a waste of air. I'm a waste of space. I'm useless. I'm pathetic. I'm scum. I am the scum of the earth because I don't have anything of value to give. And this has been on my mind. This has been what I've been living with internally. This is where I am. Being this waste of space. Being this waste of air. This waste of breath. That's what it feels like. Being a waste of breath. That hurts. It hurts. It hurts when you have this grandmother and she calls you that. She says that to you, like, what good are you? You start feeling like it's fucked up. And it really sucks. And I can see that part of myself. That young 12-year-old boy, 13 years old, 14 years old, being told that, being in that apartment when he didn't want to. But I was forced to be there. I was forced to be around these people, and I didn't want to. I was so ready to leave. I was so ready to leave them. I was so ready to just fucking disappear from them. And I eventually did. And as soon as I was 17 and I graduated from high school, I made my way to college, and I made sure to get the fuck out of there. I made sure to get the flying fuck out of there as fast as I possibly could. And thank God for that teacher who believed in me enough to get me into that college. And from there, I was just like, fuck this. I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be living this life. Not a fucking chance. Not a chance. And I left. And I left, and I did not look back ever since. Of course, I had to revisit these things in my mind. And I've been doing this for like the last fucking 10, 11 years, which is exhausting. But I made sure that I fucking left. Because it was just so toxic. It was just so toxic. And when you're growing up in poverty, when you're growing up in these environments, especially in Brooklyn around this time, what I observed, maybe my perception of reality, but what I observed was that if you have money, if you have cash in your pocket, that fiat currency, if you have that paper, People are going to want you. Good or bad, people are going to want you. You're like a flame, and they are the moths, and they come to you. They come to you. And if you don't, you're useless. You're nobody. You're left alone. That's it. And that hurts. It hurts and it feels transactional, but I think I can understand. I think I can understand. I think I can understand the human condition, or her human nature, and that is that a lot of people are self-centered. And when people do this kind of work and they help people, yeah, they do it because they, number one, enjoy it for themselves. Number two, it pays cash, right? So is it always that people want to help people? Oh, I don't know. It feels good. It feels good, but it's still serving the ego in some capacity. It's still serving what's inside of you. It's still meeting a human need. Otherwise, if it didn't meet your human need, you probably won't do it. You probably would not. Let's just be really honest with ourselves here. If you didn't get something out of it, whether it's a certain sense of satisfaction or a certain feeling or whatever, you wouldn't be doing something to help someone. You wouldn't. So it feels transactional. And growing up, Benjamin Hardy, yeah, I remember one of those books, not the 10X book, but Who Not How or something like this, where it's kind of like that, you know, you don't want necessarily transactional relationships, you want transformational relationships. Still, you're doing something to get something back, you know? I don't know if you're actually going to do something just because you want to do it from the goodness of your heart. Like Mr. Beast, you know, like great that he has all that cash to give people, but I'm quite certain that that's his tactic of getting so many fucking subscribers. I'm quite certain of that. Win cash and get these subscribers, you know? Give cash, get subscribers. I think that that's the model right there. And who the fuck wouldn't want to subscribe for that, right? Who wouldn't want to subscribe for $1? Who wouldn't want to subscribe for cash? I'm not going to be saying, hey, subscribe for a cookie. I'm not going to do that. Baking a whole bunch of fucking cookies. And this is what I saw. And to that part of me, to that 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old boy, I let you go now. I let you go now because this is not going to serve. It's not going to serve me to be living this life where I am constantly feeling awkward around asking for help, feeling like I have no value, feeling like I'm transactional. I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm going to change from within. And the best way that I can do this, the best way that I know how to change from within is to release this. I choose to free myself of this. I choose to let this go. I choose to be at peace now. I let myself be free of this. I let this go. I let this go now. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame, dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and transmute my attachments to money. Produce your perfection in, through, and around me. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame, dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and transmute my emotional attachments to money and my self-worth. Produce your perfection in, through, and around me. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame, dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and transmute my fears around not being loved. Produce your perfection in, through, and around me. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and transmute all the hurt from my heart. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and transmute all this inner suffering that I've created for myself. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and transmute all this discord around money. Produce your perfection in, through, and around me. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and transmute all this pain, all this suffering that I have created for myself. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and transmute my attachments, my emotional attachments to money, and how I've connected that to my value. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and transmute my perceptions and beliefs about my value and self-worth. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and transmute all this hurt in my heart around money. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and transmute all financial discord from every heart and mind across the universe. Produce your perfection and sustain that. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, and obliterate our attachment to money and what it means to us, individually and collectively. Produce your perfection in, through, and around us. Help us set a new standard. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, obliterate, and transmute all this self-fucking pity that I have. Produce your perfection in, through, and around me. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, and obliterate this victim part of me. Send it back to God's light and produce your perfection in, through, and around me. Violet flame, violet flame, violet flame. Dissolve, consume, annihilate, and obliterate the fears that I have around not being loved if I have nothing to provide. Produce your perfection in, through, and around me, and show me the truth now. And in the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, my great divine spirit team, my subconscious mind, the great white brotherhood of the highest vibrational frequency and consciousness, who love and support me unconditionally, with your unconditional love and support in your names, I command, declare, and decree that I recognize my value now. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I see my value now. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I know my worth now. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I no longer attach myself, my self-worth, my value to money. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I am at peace. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I recognize I am safe even without money. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I am capable of seeing my value free of money, free of external outcomes. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I am free to be myself. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I honestly and authentically express myself, regardless of who's watching. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I am at peace. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I feel good about myself, regardless of how much cash I have in my bank account. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I feel good about myself and my life, regardless of how much or how little money I have in my bank account. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I just see money as a tool, as a resource to help me do what I'm doing. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that my perception about money and finances and cash has changed so that I now just see money as a tool. I now see money as a resource that I can acquire more of. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I feel good on my own, free of emotional attachment, free of the money, free of the outcome. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you. Take 3 deep breaths. Inhale and exhale when I say inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. In the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, I command, declare, and decree that I am aware of how valuable and precious I am, regardless of numbers, regardless of the external world. I choose to really acknowledge and claim that for myself here and now today. Thank you. Okay, that's it for today. Hope you found value in that. Use that for yourself. And until next time, remember that you are loved, we love you, and God loves you. Namaste.